So today I'm going to be filming my stuffing slash nut roast balls. Now I'm obsessed with stuffing and I'm obsessed with nut roast. So last year I decided to combine the two to create something quite magical. And we had them for our Christmas meal last year and we're going to have them again for our Christmas meal this year. Now since last year the worst thing has happened. I've discovered that I've got a wheat intolerance. And when I first found out, the first thing that I thought of was, how am I going to have packet stuffing? Because I bum packet stuffing. Now apart from my grandmother's homemade stuffing, I actually prefer the packet one. Most supermarkets do actually have gluten-free stuffing, so it's all turned out okay. So I'm now going to start cooking. So this is what you need to make it. I have got 2 packets of gluten-free stuffing. I forgot to mention this whole dish is actually going to be vegan as well, so everyone can enjoy it. So 2 packets of gluten-free stuffing, 2 packets of mixed nuts. Now I have 2 packets because I haven't actually made this since last year and I cannot recall whether I used 1 or 2. And I've got 2 packets of chestnuts, and then over here I have some cranberries and blueberries because I love the whole sweet and savoury element. And last year I fried shrooms to add to it, but this year I've decided to roast some pumpkins slash squash because this year I'm really into the pumpkin slash squash. So I just cut them in half, poured oil on them, then added some fresh nutmeg, some cinnamon, rosemary, garlic and salt and pepper. And I roasted them for around 55 minutes and then just stabbed them with a knife just to make sure they're all nice and soft. And now I'm just going to preheat the oven. Both the stuffing mixtures actually have different times, which is most helpful. So I'm going to just do like an in-between one. Done. There's me. Hello. So I'm now going to add the 2 bags of the stuffing mix to a bowl. Oh, I love that smell. The other one. Also like that smell, completely different. And a different texture too. How fun. I'm now going to add the cranberries and blueberries. No idea how much yet, I'm going to just see how it goes. That'll do for now. My nip's in it. I'm now going to start chopping up the nuts. Now I'm going to do some chunky, some not so chunky, so there's a variety of textures. I'm going to start with one bag and see how it goes. If I could open it. So this is my desired texture, some nice and fine and some a bit more chunky. I'm now going to add these to the bowl which already has the stuffing in and the fruit. So I'm now going to cut up the chestnuts. I'm really into chestnuts this year. There's like a little stall in town with a little hot chestnuts. I go there quite frequently to get my hot chestnuts. Now, I know somebody else who this year has also developed a love for chestnuts. Mowgli, what's this? Are they chestnuts? Did you hear me say chestnuts? We didn't even know that he was into chestnuts until we went to this Christmas market at the Weldon Downey Museum and I got the hot chestnuts from my regular lady, which I always see in town. And when we came back, I found Mowgli's head inside my handbag and out came a whole chestnut with a slobble all over it. So we have googled it and he's allowed to eat chestnuts. Not too many though, they are quite fatty. Let mummy bite it in half first. Good boy. Just one more. Good boy. So ciao for now. Ciao for now. Wash hands, obviously. Oh, he's waiting down there for some more chestnuts. I know, honey. Right, I'm definitely going to be using 2 packets of these because they're just divine. Ooh. Maybe for Christmas you should ask Santa for some chestnuts. What a good idea. Okay, 1 bag chopped up. I'm going to add that to the mixture and then cut up the other bag and probably give a few more to Mo. Look at them. They're like glossy conkers. So I'm now going to start tackling the pumpkins / squash. So they're nicely cooled now. Now there's a reason why I have so much here. I may not even use it all. It's because although I'm really into the pumpkin / squash, sometimes they aren't so nice. So what I actually do is I keep a list here, spat myself, and I like photograph them all, already been photographed, don't worry, so that I can keep a little log of which ones are good and which ones aren't good. So, for example, on my list I've got dark orange, mini pumpkin, creamy, sweet, potatoey, lighter orange, icy, not very nice, ridged, delicious, almost stuffingy. Then I got a 2-tone one, bitter but not unpleasant. So I now need to sample these and add them to my list. So let's see, I'm going to go for this kind of like crinkle cut one first. Got my little spoon. Real creamy. Where's my pen? Where's my pen? Okay, all the pens have suddenly disappeared. I'll just watch back this video for reference. So ridged, creamy. Now, acorn looking one. This may actually be called acorn pumpkin. I can't remember. Super sweet. This is called, I think it's called a petit pan. They're real flat. And the flesh is all white, which is quite fun. Let me use my hand. Oh, that's very savoury, completely different. I love them all. So now I'm going to scoop it all out with the rosemary and the garlic, don't waste anything. Mank it all up, then add it to the mixture. And as it's all mushy, it kind of acts as like a glue for the stuffing, which is going to be divine. Petit pan. Just going to butterfly it to make it easier. These like brown gnarly bits are absolutely delicious. See, the texture is like completely different. Garlic, I'll push that out of its little skin later. Mowgli is still waiting beside me to see if there's any more chestnuts going. So I skinned the pumpkin and squash completely dry and mushed it all up. I'm now left with this yellow paste. Now I'm just going to give a little sample. That is tasty. That is tasty. I also do a really good pumpkin and bean chilli, and I do it like this when I'm making that to create the kind of sauce. But then I also roast them into cubes to create the texture. But the last time I did it, I used 9 different varieties, so cubing 9 different ones would have taken me several years and it would have hurt my arms a lot. So I do just a few in chunks to create the texture, and the bulk of it I just cut them in half, roast them for just under an hour, and then create this nice little paste and mix it in. But anyway, not making that, making balls. So now this is all mushy and delicious, I'm now going to add it into the stuffing mixture. Stuffing and nut roast mixture, I do apologise, it's a bit of both. Okay. So I'm now going to mix it all together. Whoops. So I haven't actually added the water or the oil yet, which the stuffing mixture requires. But I'm now going to mix this together for now, and already the pumpkin glue is making it all stick together like a nice tasty glue. Woo! It's getting up my nose. Okay, I'm now going to boil the kettle. I'm going to add in the hot water and the oil that the stuffing packets required. So the kettle boiled and I realised that I'd thrown away the stuffing packets without memorising the measurements of water. So I fished them out now, so all is okay. So I've now got all the mixture nicely combined. I've got several trays here with baking parchment. I've also, my bellow is rumbling for the balls. So I've got, what was I saying? So I've got 3 trays here with baking parchment on. I've also oiled them, so there's no way my balls are going to stick. So now I'm going to start rolling them and plomping them down. Now, I reckon not too big because they take too long to cook, and not too small because these balls are too significant to make too small. So I'm going to say around so big. Okay, let's go. And I'm not too worried about making them nice and neat because, to be honest, there's an awful lot of mixture here and I can't be bothered. Also, when I poured on the hot water, the cranberries and blueberries kind of swelled up and went all puffy, which is super good. You kind of like brought them back to life a bit. They are getting larger and larger, but that is okay. So these are all my balls which have been balled. It's quite a lot of them. I'm now going to pop them in the oven for around 40 minutes and then check on them, but they probably will need a good hour because I've got some luscious thick filling in there. So these are the balls fresh out of the oven that took around 45 minutes. There are still 10 more on the side which I couldn't fit on this plate, and I wasn't going to faff around replating the whole thing. My chosen lube is a cranberry jelly. I prefer the jellies to the chunkier lubes. This is the make. Delicious. So now I am ready to sample one of the balls. I'm going to try one bareback to begin with and then with the lube. This one. Now, I'm not going to lie, but that is simply delicious. So stuffingy, and then nutty, and then the sweetness on the fruit. It's literally like a roast dinner, but in a ball. It's got a chunky bit of nut, see? It's good to do different textures. Different things happen in one's mouth. Now, I'm going to dunk it in the lube. Literally are perfection. Right, I'm going to let these cool, then freeze them, and then unfreeze them. I always say de-thaw, but I think my mum always says to me it's not de-thaw, it's just thaw. So I'm going to freeze them and then thaw them, and then re-oven them for a bit, ready for Christmas dinner.